Huckabee agrees with pro-slavery radio hosts. Sell poor criminals as property instead of jailing them. Here we go.
Our criminal justice system is taken over by progressives, just like our failed government education system has been. And they've turned it into sort of a combination criminal store, where we store people we don't want around us for years, and then we bill the taxpayers for that. But there was a woman here in Iowa that went for a job, and she became a bookkeeper at a Creston, Iowa car dealership, and then she ripped them off about $425,000 worth of bookkeeping errors. And
that's a lot of cars.
Yes, it is. That must be very. It previously was, until they encountered her, it seemed to be in the black. But they're going to make her, shocking thing, they're going to make her pay the money back. Can you believe that? They want her to pay restitution.
Well, how very tacky of them to expect her to be responsible for the money that she stole from them.
And they're going to trade, and they're still going to send her to jail for 20 years. Now, I'm thinking the jails are a pagan invention. I was reading from Exodus to the listeners during the last segment, is that if a person steals, they have to pay it back, maybe twofold, fourfold. If they don't have anything, we're supposed to take them down and sell them. That's what it says in Exodus. We sell them, and we take, and they are indentured. That's what the 13th Amendment says for criminal restitution. We indenture them, and they have to spend their time not sitting on their stump in a jail cell. They're supposed to be working off the debt. Wouldn't that be a better choice?
Well, it really would be. And look, my prison director in Arkansas used to say, and I quote him often, we lock a lot of people up because we're mad at them, not because we're afraid of them.
Yes.
And we need to lock people up we're afraid of. But sometimes the best way to deal with a nonviolent criminal behavior is what you just suggested. Make them pay back. Pay back more than they stole. Let it be an example, but taking them out of the community, even a
restitution isn't punishment. That's what they owe. They don't owe society. They don't have a debt to society. They owe the person they've damaged.
That's exactly right. Pay that back, and live with the stigma of that. I mean, that's a certain deterrent. I mean,
this fucking guy. I mean, like, there's Master Huckabee there, Master, taking us back to the good old days of slavery, man. What do you guys think about that? What a fucking douchebag, right?
What is the like main, I guess, difference for? He's suggesting something different than kind of what they already do. Like, they already make them, or at least in some cases, like community service and shit, right?
Well, there are work release programs, which state prisons do.
You can work off some of your time, or you can work for a small wage or shit like that. If community service is part of your shit, you can do that while you're incarcerated in certain instances and get that shit taken care of. But it counts as like half time. They really fuck. You have no rights once you're incarcerated, and it doesn't matter what. And you guys and our patrons, I guess, will know that recently I had a run-in with the police where I did absolutely nothing wrong at all and was like a concerned citizen and was badgered like crazy by the cops, like taking my ID, running my shit, spread your legs, hands on top of your head, spread them further, like getting up on my nuts. Over what I thought I was calling in a vehicle versus pedestrian.
And you weren't black? Oh, wow.
It's crazy. But I absolutely treated like the criminal for calling in. And like when the cops showed up, I was like waving them towards me. And I don't know if that was threatening.
And they saw that like, bring it on, bitch.
Really, right.
It was like, hey, come over here. I'm on the phone with 911 right now. I'm the caller, like it. The way that it gets out of control so quick, and then people get locked up for stupid shit, shit that they shouldn't be. Now, on the other hand, there are people like this example they're given, where the lady just straight up stole a bunch of money from the company she was working for.
Yeah, she's paying 20 years.
You have to pay restitution or whatever, and she can. The menial wages she'll earn won't even make a dent.
No,
if she's doing it in prison or whatever. But I mean. Like, they're pretty much, this is indentured servitude for over money, and that's not the system we have set up. And
actually, it is.
Well, I mean,
the 13th Amendment, which is what he talked about, explicitly allows indentured servitude if you're a prisoner.
There you go.
Jesus Christ! Wait. to the
penal. It's called penal labor, which is used by the military, which is what you're talking about, which is like prison labor, connecting things to the people who are like on chain gangs doing that type of stuff. Yeah, the 13th Amendment allows for that.
No, but
for the state though.
But yeah, isn't that state
for the state, not federal? Yeah.
Like not for the car dealer. Like she wouldn't be a slave to the car dealership, right?
No,
but
no.
The thing I think what needs to happen is they immediately need to go after the money she stole. Like, where did it go? What did she spend it on? Did she put it in accounts? Whatever. It needs to be seized at that level first and foremost.
And most of the time it is seized. They do find most of it.
Right, and if it was just thrown away in like gambling or something like that, and they can't get it back, then yeah, restitution, definitely needs to be made. I don't think that she should be enslaved to the car dealership. Like they're gonna have her chained up to a fucking desk or something.
Yeah, not give her anything, right?
It can't be left up to them, but.
It should be like if someone steals your car or vandalizes your car and damages it somehow, when they get caught, or if they get caught or whatever, they're not like indentured to you. They owe you something, but it's the responsibility of the not of you, of the victim, to collect that debt for you. Like, that's the system we have set up.
I had an issue when I was younger, when I was like 17 or 18 years old. I had my four-wheel, my quad. I had a Blazer, or I think it was a Blaster. It was a Blaster four-wheeler. I had it stolen, and the cops called him the next day. They called him in a field driving it, and he fucked it up. It was like $800 worth of damage, and I had a quote for it from a Honda dealership down the street from me. And the cops are like, "Don't worry, you'll get restitution for it. He'll pay it off. He'll do some labor, and which is very minimal what they make. I think it's like $1.50, whatever it is, an hour, whatever it is. I don't even know what to quote. I'm just quoting that right now. I'm sure I'm not hitting the nail on the head on that one. But what happened was they're like, "Oh yeah, he's going to pay restitution as soon as he gets out." Right? I've been fighting. I have fought that. When it happened for 5 years after that, kept on calling the police station. They're like, "Oh yeah, he still owes you." I didn't see one fucking penny from that shit, man. Not one fucking penny after 5 years of trying to follow up with it. I didn't receive shit from that.
A bullshit thing that happened to me was, a guy sideswiped my car, not my Lotus or anything, the car I had before that, and it was, I had a $500 deductible on my insurance, and the guy was responsible to pay the $500 deductible. So, went to court and everything, and he was deemed responsible, and he paid me the $500. This is all in accordance with the law. He paid me the $500 over a 2-year period, which turned out to be like $20 a month. Wow. And that's how I got
your money back.
That's how I was made whole. And my car, meanwhile, I traded. As a matter of fact, that was the car I traded in when I bought my Lotus, and I got like half of the value for it because of the accident on the report.
It's really
what was it, a Corvette?
Because that $20 a month. That you were getting, that's exactly what your Lotus payment was. So, I mean, lucky you.
Lotus payments.
Listen, if you want a thief to pay back, like, say, $400,000 or $25,000 that they stole, yeah, of course, like John said, find out where they spent that money. If it has nothing to do with gambling. There's means, but most of the time this doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Trying to get it back is one thing.
They'll get most of it, but
the fact is that even if you find out, or if the money's gone or whatever, you're not going to be able to get all of that money back, probably, even if that person works and gives you every penny. But you can't do that. You can't just, once they are out of jail and they're working or whatever, you can only garnish their wages a certain percentage.
Correct, yeah.
It's just like
child support.
Child support, yeah, exactly. Like there's a
limit. I know we can go on child support and really rant about
child
that, but we're not going to go there.
States like Florida, man, child support, they'll come into while you're working.
While you're working, yeah.
They'll come arrest you, and we have a guy that was a chef, and they'd come in and fucking arrest him like every couple of months, and he's like, "I'm working." He's like, "What do you want me to fucking do?" He worked 2 jobs, and what do you want me to do? I'm at work right now. I'm making you've already garnished my wages. Why do you keep fucking arresting me and make, because, you know, he was lucky he worked at places that would take him back and understood the
situation. Counterproductive.
The system they set up.
Yeah, it's
extremely set up. They fuck them over.
But at the same time, you can't over garnish, because then they can't survive. And that's kind of not the point. The point is for them to pay back as much as they can.
Well, the thing is, TJ, you're right.
The rest of their lives.
TJ, you're right on that. And that's the thing about being incarcerated, having this on your record, is that it's nearly impossible to really get a good paying job. Even if this lady was making, like, say, $100,000 a year, say she was a controller, say she was the controller for a dealership, and controllers, trust me, I'm in the business for 25 years, they make a 6-figure salary. So if that was her, control the money, which they do, they control the money in and out of the dealership. Probably that was her position that she held.
Yeah.
And what happened was, for her to try to get a job like that again, having that on a record, because a lot of dealerships nowadays, including me, we do background checks on people.
Why would you trust her then? Why would you trust her?
And why would you trust her?
Convicted of stealing $425,000 from a dealership. Why the hell would you ever trust her at a dealership again?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Why would you ever trust her with that money again?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say when it comes to
reformed. Why the fuck would you ever trust a person who steals that much money?
Paul, let me finish. What I'm saying here is it's really difficult for her to pay that restitution back. And what's hurting her is that she can't get a decent paying job anymore because she's spending 20 years in jail for it. So she paid for her crime, and then she's going to go back out in the world. And it's going to be hard for her to make the same money again. She's pretty much fucked.
Well, the thing is, what Paul's saying, I think in that specific, because that's a lot of fucking money to steal.
Yeah, it is a lot, dude.
And you don't get a job like that right when you come right out. You don't go from a great job like that, stealing all the money, come out and get another job like that. You got to start over again.
Yeah, you're pretty much fucked. Yeah, you got to go into another
Mickey D's.
Well, yeah, and that's just one example, but there's other examples, like people can't even get jobs at goddamn grocery stores for having felonies and shit.
Yeah, they do these insane background checks and piss tax.
I mean, we're not even talking about like murder and stuff like that. I mean, that's totally different. We're talking about even drug-related felonies.
You
non-violent
crimes, and the next thing you know, your sole source of income is YouTube and like making shitty animations and shit like that. But for some people, it works out.
Yeah, but then we got people like here, Mike Huckabee, fucking claiming like, hey, listen, they're pretty fucked for the rest of their lives, but you know what? Let's enslave these motherfuckers and make them pay off their fucking debt to, say, car dealerships and
he's
shackle
stupid.
fucking
He's thinking the fucking Christian law is somehow the law of the land here.
Yeah,
because they mentioned Exodus. Yeah, they mentioned Exodus. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what's scary is that he's drawing these ideas from the Bible and thinking that it's from on high, that this is coming from the almighty creator of the universe, when in actuality it's from some far more primitive culture, and he wants to implement that in a far more advanced culture.
From people who thought the planet was flat and shit.
Yeah, exactly, and that the Bible, religion back then, still today to a certain point, is it was a means it was a means to control society.
People that think the Earth was
so. Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. People that think the universe was created in just a few days, like Huckabee, they're the ones who want to go back to that type of gem of logic and wisdom instead of looking at all the things we've learned since then.